Basically, what sources are telling us is that Zuckerberg has said to the leadership of Meta, company-wide, they're aiming for 10% cuts. But the Metaverse ambition hasn't really materialized. So according to these sources at Zuck's Hawaii home in the last few weeks, they basically reviewed it and said the cuts need to be deeper in that unit. It's really interesting because we're so focused on AI right now, and it's a big move higher in the stock on this Bloomberg report, right, Danny? But I remember a time where the widening losses at Facebook Reality Labs unit was the main driver of the stock in the news cycle. And since 2021, those losses have totaled $70 billion. So that's where we understand those cuts will be felt deepest, 30% overall in the unit, far beyond what the rest of the company will experience. And it is part of, as we understand it, this budget planning for 2026, where the priority is now AI.
That's where I was going to go with this, Ed. How much of it is just AI is hoovering up all the cash possible and all the investment possible in these hyperscalers like Meta?
Well, remember also that Meta is not a hyperscaler.
Right.
It doesn't sell compute capacity, but you raise an interesting point, which is the AI story for Meta is to have a lot of data center capacity, partly so that internal teams working on advertising and other core product can use AI to make it more monetizable and better. The idea of the metaverse is that Meta is pushing into hardware, virtual, augmented reality and smart glasses for consumers to interact with that AI software. The problem is that connect hasn't quite happened yet.
Well, to that point, Ed, they are still investing in their hardware to the point where they've poached Apple's top design executive.
The timing of these two stories, they're completely incongruous, right? Yes, you're completely right. Essentially, Apple's top designer is going to move to Meta. And the signal that gives is that Meta is really serious about the consumer-facing product design. This is somebody who has been very, very influential in all Apple products since the late 90s. Alan Dye, who you're showing on the screen now. So he's going to go to Meta. And what was so interesting about this Bloomberg reporting is that Apple felt important to issue a full statement from Tim Cook, who basically praises Alan Dye. And in the interim, by the way, Stephen LeMay, who's also been at Apple some time, steps up to become the most senior designer. But that's what I mean by incongruous. You have a story that Meta has gone for Apple's top design chief because they want to push deeper into hardware, but they're also making 30% cuts to the unit that's responsible for it in this transition to the metaverse. The stock up now more than 5% in free market.